There you go. Just do that over and over again. You won't feel bad anymore.
Yeah, no, Whiff is doing real good as well.
I saw a short on YouTube where the guy says the worst thing that can happen to you is to win 5 times in a row.
Yeah,
I'm not sure I understood why he said that, but I guess I get the idea.
Well, because you get overconfident and then you're overzealous and you get cocky and you start entering trades and like sort of
Yeah, but compared to losing 5 times in a row,
you learn you're more likely to learn something from losing than you are to learn something from winning. You learn something from winning, you think like, oh yeah, I'm so good at this, I'm just gonna keep doing this and blah blah blah. And then like you stop following your rules and you fall out of sync with like, your strategy and your plan. You think like, oh, I can't lose, and then you're like, okay, when you do start losing, you're like, oh no, I can't allow myself to lose this trade. I'm gonna have to recover this trade, and then you want to hold on to it for longer, and it ends up turning into a worse trade, and you end up losing more money, and then get back what you made initially in the first 5 trades. You don't want to get overconfident or cocky in the market. You always want to stay humble. It keeps you level headed, logical, structured.
So, quick question. For example, I'm on a midterm to long term hold on a Solana long. If you're on a midterm to long term trade, once the trade goes in your favor and you move your stop, would you move your stop loss just to break even or into profit for those longer term trades, or do you just leave your stop loss at the normal position just to make sure?
why did
When
you
you
take
wanna
that trade? What did you see when you took the trade? Or what was your plan originally? Just my advice would be to just stick to your plan. Like when you bought Sol, you had an
you're
idea where to exit, right?
Right, yeah. So I've got my targets, but so right now we're in the green. I got in at 121 and we're at 131. For a longer term swing trade, once we get up into the green, when do you decide? Do you only move that
Well,
stop loss
if
up
it's
when you
if
hit your
you're
first take profit, or do you just move it as soon as it goes into the green?
if you go okay, so if it's a longer term swing trade and you want to give it a chance to hit your targets, I wouldn't move your stop loss until because your stop loss is like where the trade's invalidated, right? The trade's no good anymore. Until it invalidates an uptrend. So like if all you see is higher highs, higher lows, then you don't have to move your stop loss really. If you see a lower high, a lower low, like you could like if it invalidates an uptrend at some point, you start to see a lower high and lower low, and you're still above your entry. You could probably move it to entry then, because then you're like, oh, okay, like even if I round trip this, I'm not gonna lose money, But if where your entry is, if it can make a low below there without invalidating the uptrend, then maybe you don't want to stop out of it. Like it's all about where the invalidation of the trend is, really.
I don't
Got-
think there's any good or bad
Gotcha.
answer. People, everybody does it a bit differently. If it works for you, moving your stop loss, go ahead.
Well, he
The,
doesn't want to. He
the
doesn't.
thing
He's
is,
trying to increase his win rate and like not lose money to bad trades. Like you know what I mean. He's trying to minimize his risk.
for me, it's good news. The trade is working. You should be even more optimistic that your trade is gonna end up hitting the where you wanted to sell it. moving your stop loss up is a bit like, well, it's a bit fear of round tripping, right? But
I
what's the
wouldn't
worst
say much
outcome?
of fear of round tripping. It's just more of risk, or making like Dbloc was saying yesterday, focusing on your win rate. So rather than waiting for that stop loss to hit in the negative, you move it up just so you get that win rate up.
No,
But
but
yeah, I do understand what you're
but
saying
if you win
with
less, it's the same PNL in the end, right? Like there's no difference between having your stop loss hit or you having taken half of the profits halfway up and then hitting actually your TP. Where in the end all you did there is just eat into your profits by TPing early, right? Moving your stop loss up means TPing early.
but
And
it's a risk-free
it's
trade.
Unless
That's
yeah, you're not taking any risk at that point, Zeus. You're not risking losing money by getting stopped out. If your stop loss is below your entry, then and it comes all the way back for you, not only are you round tripping it,
well,
but you're losing
you
on the
are
trade at that
you
point.
are
You're turning
you
a
are
winning trade
taking
into a losing trade.
now for me you're taking risk of breaking what you originally traded. That's a risk too, because what's the next trade gonna be? I mean,
You'll
there's a
have a
cost
better
for
idea probably by doing it over and over and over again. You'll get a better idea of when it's a good idea to move your stop loss or not. But it's like you don't want to have to you want to make that experience as cheap as possible. You know, you don't want to make it more expensive if you don't have to. And I mean, if you round trip it and it goes to your entry, it stops you out, and then it turns right back around. It's like, okay, well, that sucks, but I could re-enter, or I could just wait for another opportunity to try to make a
type.
better trade. But at least you didn't lose money learning that lesson. Dude, Sui looks fantastic right now.
Man, everything's looking pretty nice. It's just I'm kind of scared for this FOMC meeting. I hope it doesn't look like a bloodbath afterwards.
So you had only kind of put your stop loss. You said you hit your target one already?
For Sol, no, I haven't hit my target one yet.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So, well, I don't know. I wouldn't move it then until you at least. I wouldn't move your stop loss until you at least hit target one.
Oh yeah, that was
Um,
my, I guess my what I was trying to get from my question is, do you, when you do move that stop loss into a risk-free trade, do you wait until you hit that take profit one, or is it like as soon as it goes in the green? But yeah,
I mean, if it does become invalidated, then if the trade is good, don't choke it out. Like, you know what I mean? If the trade is good, if it's in the green and it's going good, don't choke it out by taking away the opportunity. So if you're gonna move it, don't move it too close, like wait to see if there's any sort of invalidation of the trend first and then move it. And at that point you're kind of risk free anyway. You might not be maximizing on the profit you're originally supposed to take, but at least it takes you out of danger long enough for you to reassess and say, okay, where's my next entry going to be? Maybe your next entry is a little bit higher, but at least if you enter off of like a further confirmation that the trend is not breaking down, it's actually indeed going to continue, then you can also have like, more confidence taking another separate trade. But I wouldn't move it until either you at least hit target one, or um if you see some sort of like confirmation that the trend is becoming invalidated or going to reverse, then you can move it up to break even, or into the profit or whatever, and just see what happens. But you should either see
On
you should in my opinion, you should it's not financial advice, but in my opinion, you should either see a target or some sort of invalidation that happens higher up before you would move it.
sometimes FOMC days are pretty volatile and it does spike up and down and really just stop out everybody. Um, So I guess maybe today is a bit different. You know, a lot of traders are just waiting for the news to see what to do. Some of them are making sure they're already in position before the news. Some of them have been doing that for the whole month, actually.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
that is a
even
good
since
point, is
last
that
briefing.
the FOMC days can be really volatile. So, I mean,
Well,
like I was saying earlier, like, it's better for me. Like, I don't trade on FOMC days. If I'm in position, typically I sell before the data comes out or before they start the meeting.
now if you
And
want
then I
like a
just,
year-long swing, then you're gonna get many FOMC days during your swing anyway. So
yeah. I mean, how long are you planning on holding the trade for? Like, are you saying like a week, a month, or?
well, until it hits 180. No, he said 180.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like with
It's a
spot,
good trade, honestly. From support to resistance, right?
yeah. I tend not to use stops like on spot unless it's like something I'm actually actively trading and I'm like, oh, I only want to be in this for 2 weeks maximum, If it's a long term, like if I'm planning on holding something for at least a year, then I don't put stop losses. But if I'm planning on holding it for less than 2 weeks, then I will put a stop loss.
And there's so many different possible answers for that. It's really dependent on yourself a bit, and the psychology of the helps a lot, right? Like, of course, when you move your stop loss to entry, you know you feel less stress, or if like yeah, for some people, it's the way to go to make it work, to make the system
Well,
work over.
it's just that at the very least, you can try again with the same amount of money that you had before, and
Yeah, but that's so what?
instead of trying again with less money, you know.
Like, if you're afraid of losing, why not TP then, instead of letting it come down to your stop loss? Just take out 20% of the position and keep your stop loss
E-
down there.
Even 10%, or how much is your how how much is the stop loss for? Like, what percentage in the red is your stop loss now, and what percentage are you currently in the green? Is he still there?
Yeah, I'm here. Stop loss was is at 119, and then I got in
Yeah.
at 121, and my first take profit is at 136, and then second take profit is at 151,
All
and
right.
then
So hang on. So Soul, we're just trying to figure out where's your stop loss? How much percentage down that? So you got in at, you said 121.
yeah, I was 121, like 69, something like that.
All right, let me put a marker there. 121.69. So that's your buy, and then your stop loss is where?
119.
119. So
For me, you did the good
119.
job of catching that tight entry on lower time frames. Just enjoy the ride. Now we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to go making big decisions off of like short-term noise. But yeah, so you right now, hold on, just give me a second to plot out the trade.
116 would have been better, even 116. Yeah. Ah,
121.69. And stop is 119. Okay, so if you were to get stopped out, you would be taking a 2.21% loss. If you were to, right now, you're 7.83% in the profit. So what do
The risk-
you divide 7.83 by 2.21? 7.83 divided by 2.21 was 3.54. So yeah, if you were to take like 35% off of the position now, it would technically be a risk trade. So you could still let 65% of the original position run.
Yeah, but that's
And
only
it would
I see your idea, but you're only targeting equilibrium, right? It's like you're not even trying to make profit by doing that. You're
yeah,
just
but that's
trying to.
if the trade completely round
It'll lose.
trips.
Yeah, but
If he does,
it won't. I don't think it'll be profitable on the long term doing that. Like if you
yeah,
do
but
it for
you won't lose money. It's risk
no,
free. So
but
like
you
if he
won't.
was to take off
Mhm.
35% right now
Yeah,
of the
but
position.
the idea is to make money
Yeah, but no, the most important thing is don't lose money. The second most important thing is making money.
while keeping
The first,
opportunity to make, right? Like
yeah, you don't want to choke out your opportunities,
you know,
but
is
he's not super experienced, so it's like he wants to be risk averse.
overall, it's a very high risk to reward your trade. It's like 30 to 1, right? Because if it drops 2%, you lose one, and you're gonna TP only if it pumps like 50%.
Yeah, but
So most likely
like
that trade will lose. You know, it's just normal. Like you need to do
yeah,
that 20 times to
yeah,
have
but
one winning. You know?
if it's most likely gonna lose, then what's the point of losing money? You could be completely risk averse. You sell 35% of the position now, you can leave your stop loss where it is, see if it actually ends up playing out, and if it doesn't play out, you get stopped out, you still don't lose money.
Yep. But after having done that, if it actually is a winner, his risk to reward isn't 30 to 1 anymore because he took out a lot of the value at the beginning of the trade. Right? Like his trade is just barely at the beginning. You know?
Yeah, but if he holds 65% of the position, then it doesn't matter. He'll still make profit on the rest of the 65%
Well,
that he's still holding.
he'll make less enough that the win rate will not be able to compensate for it. Like in that
What
case,
do you
he's gonna
mean?
need.
If you're risk free, the win rate is infinite at that point. If you're risk free, then
Well,
literally there is no
no, but
risk reward ratio anymore
the only
because you're
reason
not
why
risking
he's
anything anymore.
no, but the only reason in this example why he can be risk free is because he already took the risk and it worked, right? Like we're not at the starting point right now. Like if you add into that all the times he's gonna take the risk and it's not gonna work, then the habit of taking out very early on a part of your position might actually change your P&L. Not necessarily in a positive way. Because there's gonna be plenty of times where he's not gonna be able to do this, right? Like the real question is, okay, you cut this entry at 119, but how many times did you try before catching it?
I don't know. I'd say just whatever. If you were getting stopped out, if your stop loss is $2.21. If you're using $100, so right, so like if your stop loss is 2.21% and you have $100 on the trade, then if you get stopped out, you lose $2.21. If you just sell $2, so if you sell right now, sell $2.21 and just hold the rest, and then that's it. You don't have any risk. There is no risk on the trade anymore. You can leave your stop loss where it is, and you're not risking any money.
It's a good way to do, honestly, because it's more relaxed, right? But but the strategy like that is a strategy where the more the trade goes into your favor, the less the more you decrease your risk. I mean, the less risk you put on the table, right? There are strategies where people actually do exactly the opposite. The trade is working.
Yeah, as long
Why
as
not
the
take
trade
more
keeps
risk? Well,
as long as the trade keeps going up, then it doesn't matter. You're still gonna like it's all profit after that.
yeah, try to, they say try to milk your winners, right?
Yeah, I mean right now, okay, so it's a one right now he's at a 1 to 3.5 risk to reward ratio. If that is your if that's your ratio, then you only need to be right 1 out of 4 or 1 out of 5 times to be profitable. But what his actual
Exactly.
setup
It's
for
1
his
to
take
30,
profit is
1 to 26.
46% or like 50% almost. So that's 1 to 20. That's 1 to 21 risk to reward ratio. So that's over a 1 to 20 RR.
Wait, it's better than that. No, 2% down, he gets stopped out, right? So it's better than that.
It's 1 to 21.7. If it was to hit 180, then the risk to reward ratio would be 1 to 21.7.
21.
I
Okay.
mean,
I thought it
that's
would be more like
huge.
30, but yeah. That's why I like his trade. Like the idea is very risky and high reward, low probability.
But still, if you round trips it, he doesn't win and he loses money, and that's you want to prevent losing money. You first have to learn how to not lose money, and then you can start risking more. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's different schools on that. You have to be. It's also
So
expected to lose.
if if he
On
clears
this kind of
just
setups, you're gonna lose a lot.
if he takes profit on just the amount that he would lose if he gets stopped out, then the trade is risk free, and then he can just wait and see if it hits its targets. And if it doesn't, at least he didn't lose any money. If it does, great, he made more money, but he at least he wasn't risking losing anything.
It's a psychological thingy where we feel more comfortable because we think we're risking less by moving our stop loss up, but it's actually changing the trade.
It is, but it's like so think of it this way. Whatever as soon if your trade goes into the profit, right? And you sell only what you invested, then the whole rest of the position that you have is just free. Like they're just free coins. You know
Yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean?
that
So
that
you
that
can hold
makes
them
us
forever. You got them for free.
and that makes us feel very comfortable with that, and it's easier to manage, and psychologically it's important, yeah. But if you think, just P&L wise, it's one of the biggest mistake we make. It's we are
Yeah,
in
but
profit, we want to take the profits out and feel safe, right? Whereas sometimes it's exactly the opposite. Like I mean,
yeah, but
I'm not talking about
missing
today right now
missing
with
out on
FOMC. But, I'm not talking about today with FOMC and all that, but in general.
missing out on potential wins is better than losing money. You first want to not lose. First, you want to not lose money. Like protect your capital. Don't lose money is more important than
Take small
worry
losses, yeah.
about making money later.
Quickly cut your losers and keep the winners. Nobody knows if it's going to be a winner or a loser, but I think the bet is that
Yeah,
Solana will
it
reach
gets like
180 before 120, right? So
you know what
190.
it's you know what it's like round trip trades, and you get stopped out and you lose money and you do that 10 times like in a row, and you're like, well, what the hell, I did this to make money. Like it's like um it's discouraging, like so it's like try like you can avoid that by just minimizing your risk by either taking
Well,
out your initial investment, which I think is pretty drastic, or just take out what you would lose if you were to get stopped out. And you still have a risk-free trade. You could completely round trip it, but you didn't lose any money.
but it'll be less losing opportunity in the future, right? the cost of winning? Yeah, basically. Never mind. Anyway, personally, I think it's much more likely that Solana is gonna reach your stop loss before it reaches your TP. But the opposite trade is much more interesting. That we are way closer to 119 than to 180. So just statistics, just probability-wise, there's probably like 80% chance we hit 119 before hitting 180, at least. High risk to reward. Would you re-enter if it if Solana came down to like 116? What if it puts even a new low or below 112?
I've been buying it anyway. Like,
No, well, not you, the
any
friend who longed the 119.
oh,
What's the plan? What's the plan? Yeah.
The reason I got into it was because it was breaking into a value profile, and it was at the value area low, and I had some divergence on the Vu Manchu, so I entered it, and yeah, if it does come, I mean, I really do like Sol, so I've been playing with Sol quite a bit. So if it does go down, I'll definitely buy back in. Yeah, for sure.
If that's true, then keeping your stop loss where it is actually will assure that you buy it lower than where you last bought it, right?
Well, that's the thing. If I move my stop loss into profit just a bit, and it does go lower, I'll be stopped out of my position, won't go in the negatives, and I'll just buy back in when it gets lower rather than round tripping it and buying lower with an open position in the negative, if that makes sense.
I would just say
Oh, yeah.
probably if you don't if you don't have a clear idea on what to do, I'd say the best thing to do would probably just be sell as much of the position, calculate how much you would lose, like if you were to get stopped out, and sell only that much.
Yeah, yeah, I do like that little trick that you said that's pretty nice. Because yeah, if you just take out what you're risking as your stop loss, and if you do get stopped out, well, you break even either way.
Yeah.
But you're still giving the
Well,
stop
you would
loss and the trade some room to breathe. So for it, rather than moving up that stop loss.
right, and you would actually make a little bit of money. Like even if you round trip and get stopped out, you would actually make a little tiny bit of money because you still sold for higher than where you bought. So it and also like if you sell a little bit, then your position is slightly smaller. So when you do get stopped out, it's not going to be for the same amount of money that like you won't lose the same amount of money as you would have if you had held on to the entire position.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, so you could even
So
sell like you could even sell 3% of your position probably, and then round trip it and get stopped out and still make a little bit of money. You know what I mean?
I think you need to find a way of doing that you'll consistently replicate. So it could be like TP1 in the middle of the trade. It could be anything. Could be golden pocket. It could be like whatever you want to make it. Or as soon as it's enough to pay one losing trade, I'll take at that so that my next trade can be a losing one. But then if you get personally I don't like that stuff. But
It's
yeah,
just
something
you don't want to
repeatable.
feel bad by round tripping a bunch of times. Like that just makes you feel like shit.
It does, but it is expected too, right? Take small losses.
He's up 8.5%. I don't see what the harm would be in just shaving a little bit off, just to be safe.
Well, it's just eating in the profits. Yeah.
Yeah, but barely at all. He still has the rest of the position.
Well, yeah, if it reaches 180 before reaching
It's not like he's
119, he's
taking.
gonna feel the difference. I mean,
It's not like he's taking off half of the position or 75% of the position. He's taking off a few percent. If you only take off 5%, you still have 95% of the position. It's not going to be that big of a difference.
But yeah, I guess.
If you have 100 coins and
I
you
mean,
only sell 5, you still have 95 coins left. That's not,
like
that's not going to be a huge deal.
in my personal case, I have a long from my ABC at 78 on Bitcoin. And so now I'm seeing like an ascending triangle, like you said, or I don't know, it's tapping resistance. Like how many times already? I don't know, but I could have like sold 84, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and again we're above 84, right? Like 5 or 6 times. And I really wonder, like, like, is it the good way to trade?
Well, say you bought 100 Bitcoin at $50,000. It goes up to 100,000. If you sell just um 5 or just a half of a Bitcoin, right? So you take 5% of the position and you sell. Or no, wait. I did my
But that
calculation.
wouldn't
Say
be
you
enough to
say,
cover your
hold on.
stop loss.
No, say you bought 10 Bitcoin at 50K, right? And it goes up to $100,000. You're 100% in the profit.
You can
If you
say
sell
half of your Bitcoin. Yeah.
well, if you sell just half of one Bitcoin, if you sell 5%, you sell just half of one Bitcoin, right?
Oh, five? No.
Then it goes up to 110,000. You missed out on $5,000, but you're still up. Like, on the other 9.5 Bitcoin, you still gained that extra 5,000 on each of those.
Oh, but
So
the
you're
way to
still
think
up
about it's
50,000. You're still
it's
at $52,500. Who cares if you gave back like, 5,000?
well, you're de-risking, right? You could even fully de-risk if price did a 2x. You can sell half of your crypto, and the other half you would consider it just as
Yeah.
free, as free.
Yeah,
But it's not the
if
case. You
you're
took
up.
a huge risk, and that risk paid off. And this is an example where the trade is a winning trade, right? If you add to that all the times where it's not going to be a winning trade, I just question. You know, is it really better to gradually
If
TP on a
you can't
leverage trade? Yeah.
assume. I think he's on spot, but you can't assume that, and maybe
Well,
he's on leverage. I don't know. But if you can't assume that every trade is going to be a winning trade. You have to assume that it's more likely to be a loser. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
but
Especially when you
like
go
you said,
25 to 1.
if
Especially
it
when the
goes
risk to
up
reward
from
is 25 to 1.
yeah,
Like that's by
like
definition is going to have 20% win rate barely. Maybe
yeah.
probably even less. Yeah.
I mean, a 1 to 5 is like one is a 20% win rate. That we're talking a 1 to 20 is like you have to divide that by 4, so it's really like a 5% chance that it's going to work out. You know what I mean?
So if you look at like 100 trades he takes where it's 25 to 1, he's going to have like on those 100 trades, let's say 10 are winning trades, right? If on those 10 winning trades he doesn't make enough to offset the 90 losses, then it's not profitable on the long run, right? So
Right, but if he doesn't risk anything, then he doesn't have to worry about making up losses.
he risked already. The risk is it's just that in this example already in a winning trade, right? So it's a bit different from
Yeah,
that.
so I mean the stop loss is there in case the trade doesn't work out. You know what I
So
mean?
back to my question: how many times did it lose before ending up in a winning, right?
I don't know. But for like yeah, I don't know. I don't think about past trades. I just think like how is this one going to work? You know?
Yeah, but
But
when you think
in
about
any case, it's like to go back to what you were saying. It's like you could if you so say you bought Bitcoin at 50K and you sell at 100K, you sell half of your position. The rest of what you're holding is free. So if you buy 10 coins at 50K and you sell 5 coins at 100K, you have 5 free Bitcoin. You take it out your initial investment and you have 5 Bitcoin for free that you could do whatever you want. Like you could either sell it at break even or you could hold it to the moon if you wanted to. The fact is that it's free and you're not risking any money at that.
yeah, but for a system that works on the long run, it has to be the same every time. So whatever rule you end up with or way of doing you end up with, it's going to be applicable multiple times and consistent. Because you'll get another trade where Solana looks the same, you know, where it's at support around 120 and you have resistance around 180, and sometimes it's going to work, sometimes it's not going to work, and the idea is to, on average, be profitable. Now, some people take out money in the middle, like right at the 50% mark, which would be 150.
It's nice seeing Ethereum back above 2,000. Let's go to 3,000 now.
Yeah, slowly, please.
Yes, slowly, slowly, nice and easy.
What's nice is to see it at 5th of October lows and upcoming 5th of February low. 3rd of February.
What's up, guys?
What's up?
Good day,
Start
mate.
looking- G'day, mate. How you doing?
Doing good, man. Doing good. And yourself?
Yeah, not too shabby. Hanging in there. You ever watch the Big Les show on YouTube?
Hell yeah, bro. I used to love that show. I haven't watched, to be honest, I haven't watched it in a while. Like 4 or 5 years, to be honest. But yeah, that Big Les show is fucking awesome. Ooh, sorry, guys. Sorry.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, me.
Hey, mate, what are you talking about? That's so good.
The volcano bong is the best one, bro.
Yeah. Poo, poo, poo.
Ooh. Fair income.
These charts are looking pretty juicy.
Yes, sir. Have you guys watched Blue Mountain State?
Oh, yeah. I finished all of them, but like years ago.
Yeah, no, that thing's old. That thing's old. That
With Bad and yeah, it's so
yeah,
good, dude.
Chad and all them. That's a funny series.
Tell you what, if this is a bottom and we get a bit of a pump here, these parabolas are helping me so much, dude, to find the bottoms.
We got like 3 hours till the FOMC meeting.
Looking at the charts, it seems like a lot of people, especially on ETH, are betting that there's gonna be talks about quantitative easing, right? That's cool. Maybe we'll see dominance continue down. I don't know.
The poly market's betting 100% that QT ends before May.
What do they say about rate cut for May?
I didn't see anything on the rate cuts, just the QT.
Okay.
Oh, hey, Meza G, I got a quick question for you. I'm watching you do your charting right now. Do you have any trick tips or on how to actually set the parabolic curve up? Because I've heard some people say when you draw the curve, not to move the curvature too much, but I don't understand that
Yeah.
that much.
So I'll show you when you pull the parabola, you want it to be the natural parabola, really. Like you said, you don't adjust it. So that's without adjusting. Once you start, unless it's on a downtrend and you're trying to, I'll give you an example here. So like this parabola, see, it's not, I haven't adjusted it by moving any of the points. So you want to keep it as natural
Your
as
stream is
possible.
paused. Sorry, bro. Your stream is paused.
Ah.
Oh, did you guys see what BlackRock just said about Bitcoin? They said Bitcoin is an emerging global monetary alternative.
Well, I hope people agreed with that when we were down at support, but sure, why not break out long 85? It just failed 5 times in a row. Maybe the 6th time will work.
I
But yeah,
hope
you see how they
so.
want to manipulate you into buying? I mean, why not?
Yeah,
But
it's
was
pure
it the plan?
propaganda.
I mean, it's
Against
true,
the
you know,
movement.
Bitcoin is big now.
It is.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
But-
Oh, do you guys have any predictions for this FOMC meeting?
Yeah. It'll be crazy.
Yeah, surprise rate cut that actually dumps us.
Wild ride.
It's the less likely outcome, but the crazier one.
Yeah.
I'm with Zusi on that one.
I think I'm gonna get out right before.
Really? No, man. I actually there's a difference between what I think is going to happen and what my positions are. I would be devastated by a COVID Dbloc scenario here. I sold some stuff, but I still have a lot of stuff too. So can we avoid surprises? Just have a typical meeting where not much happens. Powell continues his attempt at slowing down inflation while maintaining high unemployment, and that's it.
I know all the headlines say that too. You want to buy this FOMC, but don't.
So typical FOMC then dump.
Yeah, so from y'all's experience with these FOMC days, do you guys, if you guys are trading them, do you guys hedge against your longs or hedge against your shorts on these days more than you guys would usually?
Right.
I think a lot of people trade less, actually.
Yeah, either less or just you're super tight stops. You're moving. If you got stuff in profit, you're moving. Just prepare for the worst.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking of just closing all my trades before the meeting, but I don't know. I'm kind of iffy on this.
Hey, I seen it go both ways, man. You could close them and then they come out saying something bullish and it rips up. But hey, who knows, man? Who knows? Better safe
I'll
than
definitely
sorry.
be moving my stop losses
That's
to
it, man.
in profit or to break even for the meeting for sure.
Yeah.
When we buy, we want people to buy after us. Doesn't matter if it's an FOMC meeting, a BlackRock news, whatever. After you bought, you just want people to buy so that price goes higher. And it's the same for sales. After you sold, you want people to sell so it goes lower. So here, the hard job of buying before is done. Now, is it gonna play out or not? Well, we'll see the outcome.
Hasn't been on yet. These charts are moving.
All I can say is BTC can go as low as it wants, as long as the RSI doesn't go below 17 on the daily. I'm fine.
We still have that CME gap all the way at 86.
Yeah, I was about to ask if we do break this resistance/support resistance that we're at. Do you guys think we'll have enough push to get up to the old CME gap?
Yep, the news comes out good. We do. I believe we do. All depends.
Yeah. It's kind of depending on the news, I guess. We didn't get great numbers
We need some
this,
fuel.
past week, and I mean, I don't know. I feel like the fact that we got bad numbers kind of like would suggest that Powell is actually gonna do something more dovish. Like he'll probably have a more dovish stance than hawkish stance, but I don't know about. I doubt he'll say he's most likely not going to say that they're starting quantitative easing. He might mention that they're thinking about ending quantitative tightening, but I doubt he'll even say that.
What's going on, good
Yeah,
people?
well, yesterday Dbloc was saying that they usually do it in like 3 steps. So they'll first do their.
Well, he's here now, so ask him yourself.
Yeah. One has to come before the other. What's up, Dbloc?
Not a whole hell of a lot. Still half asleep, but I'm here.
Good
Don't
morning,
get coffee
mate.
yet?
There you go.
No
Hold on,
coffee.
I'll make you a coffee. I'll make you one.
Appreciate you.
Make sure you wake up the other half within the next 2 hours.
What's going on, chat?
What's happening?
It's nice waking up to see everything back in the green, all the positions in the green.
Oh, ye of little faith. Nice little V-shaped recovery, not for nothing on higher time frames.
Yeah, dude, and look at Sui. Sui looks fantastic.
I seen you looking. You think we're gonna go get that
Is
the
it?
CME close and then that vector after that?
Well, I mean, on larger time frames, what we were worried about was this bull flag when we broke down. But that double bottom at the bottom and getting back up to the top and getting the breakout looks good. But I do see the possibility for a rejection off of resistance and then a continuation, which wouldn't be surprising with some FOMC sort of volatility, right?
Yeah.
Little pumpy dumpy sort of scenario. Hold that and then push off. And just temper your expectations for the meeting. It's going to be no rate cut. We're lucky if they mention QT. And we've got to pay attention to what the dot plot says when it comes out. So it's really going to be waiting for the QT word, focusing on his tone and the dot plots.
Is he gonna be live somewhere?
Yeah.
What are the dot bots, or what was that last thing you mentioned, Dbloc?
The dot plots are every quarterly FOMC. All the governors get together and they decide where they think, they put a dot where they think inflation will be at the end of the year. So the dot plot gives us an idea of where everybody's head's at, right? Do they see it? Do they see a bunch of cuts between now and then? Are they only averaging in 1 or 2 cuts? Like, the market will price that in.
First day of
Gotcha,
spring.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I got a question on Sui's tokenomics. I hear a lot of people saying that they're not the best tokenomics because of their token unlocks on how long they spread it out and how much. Is that actually true? Does that have a lot of say into it through the project and on how well it's gonna do?
When you want to figure that out, go to their token unlocks and see what the value of their release is, right? Well, I'll save you some time. What happens with Sui is, yeah, there's millions of dollars in Sui that are released into supply, but there's close to $500 million in daily trading volume. So these things tend to get absorbed through regular trading, right? So you want to do is you want to take the amount of the release, take the daily trading volume and divide that, and that'll tell you how many days it's going to take to absorb that. Sometimes it's half a day, sometimes it's a couple hours. When it's bad is when you look and you're like, oh, it's going to take this coin 2 weeks to absorb this new supply.
Something like Sui though.
But Sui's just got a lot of trading volume, but Sui's going to eat up whatever supply it's. They've been releasing Sui supply this whole time and it's done nothing but pump.
$5?
We shall see.
There's more trading volume on Sui than ETH. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's kind of why I don't get why a lot of people are saying, because Sui does quite well compared to other things, even though it has those gnarly token unlocks.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, you know, somebody took profit and wants to buy back lower. So they're shilling the, you know, the unlock sort of narrative.
Yeah, if they were in position, they probably wouldn't be showing the token unlocks.
Hey, Helix, I'm back, brother. I got the screen on.
You went down this morning, huh?
Yeah, this shit went down this morning while I was asleep, bro. I don't know. I've got Geek Squad coming in here this week, so
I have the little car parked outside your house, Geek Squad.
yeah, they better bring a couple people. I'm gonna need a team.
They need to start driving Cybertrucks, Geek. That would be so big.
That would be
Geek
dope.
Squad.
Yeah. All right, we're about to hit our measured move from overnight here, and then we can start taking a look at these liquidations. But we really want to get above this resistance and hold going into this meeting.
Hey, Dbloc, worst case scenario, if if your stream's down, if you just give me your stream key, I can put your stream up. The only problem is I have a problem showing anything other than the XRP chart. So
Yeah, see the way my stream key works is it's connected to my savings, and my savings connected to my checking. So
oh yeah, the same. Yeah, see
yeah, it's just
that's
it's a
problem
weird thing that's going on. I'll figure it out though.
Yeah.
So Helix, the strategy works. It works, you know, sometimes you get fake outs and break of structure, which can, you know, you get wick outs and stuff, force people out of the parabola trade. But as a general rule, you don't want to, if price is rising, you don't want to manipulate the parabola. You just want it to be natural. Just like that. If it's on a downtrend, you can manipulate the parabola to find the lows. And I'll just show you quick what I mean. Now, when I'm first making this, the only points I have is this one and this one. Say if price is coming down. So these ones haven't been discovered yet. But this is actually where the structure hold. This is just wicks through the structure. And then, so this is price touching the parabola on a downtrend. So indicating still in a downtrend. Same thing here. And then you got touching on an uptrend, touching the parabola on an uptrend. And so that, you know, pretty much indicated you're in an uptrend and you got the pump. So like I said, sometimes you get wicked through, you get stopped. Especially at bottoms, you got to sometimes wait for them to break structure and then come back into it. So here's another one that I found. So they're downtrend, still downtrend. Now you're making lows on an uptrend, and these are actually higher lows now. So we'll see what happens, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, bro. That's nice to know, because yeah, recently I've been noticing there's quite a lot of parabolic moves like this, so it's kind of good to know these tricks.
You can use it to find tops too. Like I think it's easier on Bitcoin.
Merrick, is that just the curve that you showed me?
Yeah, just the parabola curve.
Okay.
Now, is it the same where you're just as like trend lines and stuff, where you're looking for at least 2 points or 2 touches on the curve, or are you looking for more than like for multiple more?
You can get as many touches on the curve, but what it depends on is where the curve is pointing, where you get that touch. So yeah, you got a touch. Here you got a touch, but this parabola is still trending up. Here you got a touch, but the parabola is still trending up. Here you got a touch, and the parabola is trending down. But yeah, I mean, it's, you know, sometimes it plays out and sometimes it doesn't. So it's not always, you need to go off other indicators as well. Like for instance, over here, you would have likely seen a bearish divergence probably on the weekly or even the daily to confirm that that is your top, and this is downtrending now.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
not on a log scale. Okay. This is cool stuff, huh? Simple, easy. Easy.
Yeah, I mean, it's just another tool to add to your bag. You know, sometimes, like when you get to these points where you're reaching an inflection point to change the trend, that's where you have to watch out for the wick outs, because like here they caught people here, they caught people here, they caught people here.
Distorted, rounded tops and bottoms. Like you
Yeah,
have
no,
a
that's
huge.
great. That's a great little tool to give you like a little edge or hedge onto finding the tops and bottoms. I like it.
Well, it's the momentum of a move, right? Like you have a huge sell-off or a huge buy, and then over time it loses its strength a bit by becoming horizontal.
Like coming off of this parabola here, this is a massive parabola. So, you know, it's very possible we have something like, what I think is more likely is we're kind of in like a zone like this where you've got your downtrend over there. So you got the breakout of the trend and come back to the parabola and the trend line, and then you're gone. So where we are, we can, you know, theoretically, we can just pop off out of here and zoom out. But we have that downtrending resistance over there. So, you know, we might get something similar that we had down there, where you have just a little pump up, at least to that resistance, come test the parabola one more time, and then you're off.
What are
And
the
if you
3
go with
points?
Dan's method right there, and you start making that higher high and then that second low higher low, that's